The truth about you can't be controlled. And the key to getting the life that you want and changing the world has everything to do with remembering who you are as a wild soul. You don't want safety, you want adventure. God doesn't live in what you know. God lives in who you are and in how you feel. I want you to have a wild life beyond your wildest dreams.
So, people come with questions. I'm grateful for that. We make room for that in all kinds of ways we can think of. But the question is often the question, why? Why did this, fill in the blank, happen to me? Why is that thing going on? Why are those people successful and I'm not? Why am I here? The why question permeates. Why? Why? If you've ever tried to put a little kid to bed at night, they ask you why. I don't have an answer for that one. And I understand that desire to ask that question, why. I get that. I have that same fire in me sometimes, but I got to tell you, sometimes why is the wrong question. You see, we're interested in moving forward, right? That's why we're here. Sunday's a pretty good sleeping in day, and you showed up. We're interested in moving forward, and why is a question that deals in the past. I put it to you that why is a lot less important than what are you going to do about it. It's easy to get caught in why and get caught in the analysis paralysis of, well, this could have been different and this could have been different, and that's great, but it ain't different. The difference happens when we act different moving forward. So as far as the question of, for example, why am I here? Turns out the answer is pretty simple. You're here because there's nowhere else you could be. Done. I mean, think about it with me. We talk about this all the time. The things that happen in your life are the things that you have drawn to yourself because of what you're ready for, drawn to yourself by right of consciousness. If you think and you act and you feel and you behave a certain way, you will draw to yourself stuff. And I don't want to get into a blame place with that. But I mean, think about it. There's no accidents. We say that all the time. We say it all the time. We say it all the time. There's no accidents. And whenever something bad happens, you can be sure there's one of us people going around going, well, it's divine order and you want to hit them, but it's still true. There are no accidents. We draw to ourselves what we're ready for, right? We know this. We've experienced it. Every moment in life is proof of it. But let's look at that from the other side. If there are no accidents to what's going on in your life, it also means that there is no accident to you. Think about it. If I draw to myself my existence, the universe has also drawn me into existence on earth as it is in heaven. One of the things that means is the way it works in your heart is the way it works in the world. So here's what I'm saying. I'm saying you are here because there's nowhere else for you to be. I'm saying you are here because the universe has thought you into existence. I'm saying you are here because wherever you go, you are required. Think about that. Wherever you go, you are required. It's almost a tautology. Go look that word up. It's almost a tautology. I had to. It's one of those things. You're here because you're here. Gravity is a property of mass. You have to exist in the same way. You have to be here. So the question of why is less important than what are you going to do with this moment, with this life? What are you going to do with that fire burning in your heart to do and be more? What are you going to do about it? That, my friends, is the question. So let's get away from the business of who did what to who and why did this happen and whose fault, and more about the business of living the next moment. That's the interesting part. It's not about what happened, it's about what you're going to do about it. And that is either the easiest thing in the world to deal with because you just be who you are, or it is the absolute hardest thing in the world to deal with because it means no excuses. We all get to decide how we respond to that. But I mean, think about it. If there's no blame, if there's just us, if there's just this next moment, oh gosh, I don't know. It's like love. I mean, think about it. Every single baby, every single little one is born knowing how to love. how to be loved. It is our nature. It is what we breathe. It is the truth about us. You are born in love. You are born knowing how to love. It's the deal. Anything, here's what I'm going to say. Anything that is not love is learned behavior. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. Anything that is not love is learned behavior. And that means it's a choice. You don't have a choice about love. It's what you're made. And so on one hand, it's like, okay, well, I'm made out of this. I can just go do this. But on the other hand, sometimes being loving is very tricky. Sometimes listening to that calling of our hearts can be a challenge. Sometimes doing that thing that we know we're supposed to do, standing up to that situation that we need to stand up to, going across the room and getting that phone number, doing that whatever it is, sometimes really expressing ourself is a brave and selfless act. But it's okay, because everybody is made out of this stuff. In other words, you have what it takes. You have what it takes to love. I don't know if you noticed this after the hurricane. Did you know we had a hurricane? I know it's on Facebook, but after the hurricane, I noticed that a lot of people were afraid to say the name of the hurricane. Nobody said Irma. I had a lot of people go, what did you do when the storm happened? How did you respond to, how did you survive from, how did you deal with no electricity because of the storm? No one says Irma except Voldemort. You're not allowed to say the name of it. But here's the thing that kept coming back for me. The storm doesn't care what you call it or don't call it. It happened. Whether you believe in it or not, it happened. And the question is not, what can I do to make it go away? The question is, what are you going to do to help about it? How will you respond to it? It is a real thing. It turns out that this is a wonderful test of something being real. It's real if it doesn't go away when you stop believing in it. Something is real if it doesn't go away when you stop believing in it. I mean, think about it. There are things that people put a lot of stock in that aren't real. If you're afraid of something, if you stop being afraid of it, it's gone. Turns out fear wasn't real. If you stop believing in it and it goes away, it's not real. But love happens whether you like it or not. And you know that. Everybody in this room has fallen in love with the wrong person at one time or another. That's just one example. Love happens whether you believe in it or not, whether you like it or not. You could take somebody who has had zero experience of love. They've had a bad situation, they've had a bad childhood, they've had a bad morning, whatever it is. You can have somebody that has no direct experience of what love is, and yet they know what love is. Think about that. They can draw a picture of it. They can talk about it. Why is that? It's not just because of Nora Ephron movies. There's a reason. Each and every person can tell you what love is, even if they haven't experienced it, because love is what you are made out of. And so, what I'm here to do today is to challenge you to listen to that. Yes, it takes courage to go out and be loving. It takes courage to make that step, to take that leap. It takes courage, but what I'm here to challenge you to do is to take it. Do that thing, whatever it is, and you know what it is. There's something powerful that happens when you do that thing, whatever it is. One of the things that happens is you don't have to worry anymore. That's all it takes, I swear. You don't have to worry anymore. There's so many people worried about doing it the right way and following the rules and making sure that you check all the boxes of life and making sure you don't upset anybody and making sure that your clergyman isn't upset and your boss isn't upset and your congressperson, I don't know, isn't upset. You know what I mean? How do I follow all of these rules? And sometimes they conflict with one another. How do I do this? What do I buy, this is the question, in order to help me follow all the rules? We're talking about this. So let me say instead that this is not a new problem. This is the same problem that they came to Jesus with a long time ago. They said, there's all these rules and I don't know how to follow all these rules. What do I do? And Jesus said, you know what Jesus said. He said, guys. He said that a lot. Guys, don't worry so much. about making sure you got all the rules memorized. You don't have to tattoo them on anything. Instead, do this and you'll be okay. You know this part? I know you know this part. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and here's my favorite part, and all your might. Love God. And love your neighbor as yourself. And if you do that, if you have that connection with something bigger and you take that connection out in the world and do something about it, the rules get handled. All you have to do is love. And everything else gets worked out. And that's so refreshing. I mean, I know that when we're little kids, sometimes it's helpful to have the rules live outside of ourselves. Don't do that because your teacher said so. Don't do that because mom said so. Sorry, mom. And don't do those things because the rules are outside of you. I guess it's helpful in a way when you're learning, but man, oh man, there comes a time when you grow up. And there's something powerful about moving the power, the rules, the authority from somewhere out there to something in here. The Bible says, not once, not twice, but many times, I will write my laws on your heart. You know it's true when there's something inside of you that says, okay. And I get it, that's a lot. When Jesus talked about love, he talked about this great big thing, and he said, radical love, love your enemies, love those who persecute you, go out and love without any kind of reservations, and that seems like a lot, and it seems like you could get sued doing that, but I recognize that that's a big deal. So what I'm asking you to do today is start where you are. Find something that you can agree with. Find something that you can just give yourself to. Find something that you can express love in and through. Find something that speaks to you on that level. Find something. Anything. That is your homework for today. I'm not asking for a whole lot. I'm just asking for a beginning. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and everything that has ever been made was made through the power of the Word, and just to cover all the bases, nothing that was made without the power of the Word. You've heard that before. And people read that and they go, oh, I got to give me some of them words. So they buy the right books, and they go to the workshops, and they get all of the words, and it doesn't exactly work. Why doesn't it work? Turns out that if you know your Greek, and who doesn't, of course, if you know your Greek, the word for word isn't word. Stick with me. Yeah, I know, it's weird. Stick with me. There's a different word for the things you say. The things that people are talking about when they buy a book that's got a lot of cool affirmations in it. That's not the word that the Bible's talking about when it says the word. The Bible has a different word, and it's a word we don't use in English. We don't have one. The word is logos. And what it means is not the thing you say. Instead, it means, oh gosh, we don't have a word for it. It means that thing that you have inside of you, that idea that's so profound, that feeling that's so passionate that you can't shut up about it. You can understand why it's hard to look that up. In the beginning was not this thing you say. And once again, this is something we say all the time. Prayer doesn't start with what you say, it starts with what you see. In the beginning was not some magic word. You can't go to your finances or your love life and say, open sesame, speak friend and enter. Instead, you start. The beginning of the universe and the beginning of your revolution, the beginning of your life has to do with finding something that is so true, that you're so connected to, that you've got to do something about. And you know what that feels like? Man, if only we had a word for something inside that's so profound you got to do. Oh, wait a minute, it's called love. That's the word. If I may be so bold, I would retranslate that part and say, in the beginning was love. And nothing was made without love. And through the power of love, everything was made. If you want your miracle, if you want your healing, if you want your revolution, if you want it to work out, so many people do. There's such a yearning for, oh gosh, if I could just go to that place where the answer is. If I could just hear the right thing. If I could just somehow figure God out. You ever done that? Aha, I have it. I know how God works now. Well, let me put it to you. That a God who can be figured out is no God. I know another Greek word, hubris. And that never goes well. In the stories, there's always some huge catastrophe. In my life, hubris just happens when it doesn't work right. And I kick myself. Oh, wait, I got in God's way again. Oops, sorry. God's cool with that. I have to work on it. But if you want it to work out, if you're working on your creation story, your beginning, your manifestation, don't worry about the right words. Worry about the right feeling. How can I do that thing? It turns out people are looking outside themselves all the time when all they got to do is stop and listen. Because the voice is calling. I'm telling you, the same power that created the universe is in your heart right now. The same power that makes all of this happen is in your heart right now. All you got to do is shut up for a minute and listen. I know we don't say shut up in this family, but you know what I mean? It's okay to start small because I know something about you. And I know something about love. Wherever you start, love will pull you forward. When we talk about love, we use gravitational terms, don't we? We say falling in love. We say love makes the world go round. We use those wonderful gravitational terms, and it works so well because gravity happens whether I know it or not. Anybody who skateboarded knows a lot about it. Gravity happens whether I know it or not, and whether I like it or not. It is always happening, will always happen. The more I know about it, the better my life gets, the less likely I am to fall down, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Love is like gravity. But it's more than that. If there's only one presence and one power in the universe, it's not just that love is like gravity. Here's the thing that I really want you to hear. Here's the thing that if you're writing stuff down, this is the thing to write down. Here's the thing that I really want you to take home with you. Everything in the physical world is just the tiniest manifestation of a much bigger spiritual truth. Everything that goes on in the physical world is just a tip of this huge spiritual iceberg. And the trick to life is to stop getting hung up on that little teeny physical part and to look past appearances and into, okay, how's God happening in this moment? How can I look beneath the surface and see what's really going on? And the reason I tell you that is that it's not just gravity. That's a great word, but when I drop something and it falls to the ground, the power that keeps me from spinning off into space or whatever, it's not really gravity. That's just a physical manifestation of something. The power that keeps us here, the power that draws all things to itself, is not just gravity, it's love. Gravity is just a cheap shot word for it. What I'm trying to tell you is that each and every moment, whatever is happening, is God happening. I'm trying to tell you that whatever is happening in each and every moment, the power, just feel what it's like to be supported by the chair you're sitting in. I want you to know that that's love happening. I want you to know that that's God happening. The power to have things happen for you, the power to be connected to something, is the power to take down boundaries. Can you take down the barrier? Can you say, this is God happening, of whatever's going on in your life? Yes, even the stuff you're not crazy about. Because if you don't see the God happening, how are you going to find something better? How are you going to find the answer? If I declare that things are bad and evil and other, I have eliminated my ability to fix them. Look at your life and decide that whatever is going on is more real than the physical forces of my life. Whatever is going on is God going on. And things will begin to get easier. I swear. Whatever's happening is God happening. And that opens us up to the idea that whatever is going on is God going on. It opens us up to the idea that every single conversation, every single moment, every single time I interact with the Uber driver or the guy at the coffee shop or whatever it is, it's God talking to me. And the question that is being asked more than, would you like to supersize that, is, who are you really? What can you show me about the truth about you? How can you be more? How can you show the world a little bit more about what love is? That's the question that everybody wants to know. And every single moment, look at your life, every single moment. That's what people want to know. What makes you tick, really? And sometimes it's scary to show people, but I'm telling you, man, when you say, here's me, here's all the love in my heart, and I don't care if you want it all. I'm giving it all. I got this light. I got to shine. Yeah, some people might want to lock you up, but you can run faster than them. Show them. And show them. And show them. And watch what happens. The universe is asking for that from the outside, and you've got this burning in your heart from the inside to show that, to do that. We want to make that kind of a connection. That's the thing. That law is already written on your heart. Every single person is burning and yearning to make a connection with something, to feel something so profoundly on the inside that it has to come out on the outside. That's what you want, isn't it? Now, some people don't know that's what it is, and so they go for the cheap shot of, well, I have this feeling in me that I want to have come out, and so, well, fear's good for that. Or blame's good for that. Anger's good for that. When I really get worked up, I feel that. And it's that primitive feeling of I want to make that connection, but it doesn't really get me anywhere. I call that junk food. But you see, Jesus didn't just say, have a connection with something on the inside that comes out. That's part one. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind and all your might. That's part one. And love your neighbor as yourself. It turns out he wasn't just telling us how to live this life. He was also telling us how love works. It's two parts. Find something that you can connect with and let it out. If you just have the connection, junk food. And if you just want to go out and relate to other people all the time without anything profound going on, well, they have clinics for that. There's places you can go. You know what I mean? It's very possible to just be interested in connecting with other people without something deep going on, and you know what happens. I don't have their children in the room. You know what I mean? There's superficial relationships that aren't connected to anything profound. There are ways to relate to people that aren't challenging. But man, oh man, when you're with somebody, whether it's a romantic thing, a friendship thing, a life thing, when you're with this moment where it's, okay, God, I get it, you're here, and I'm going to do something about it. When you have both of those things, you're not afraid of danger. You're not afraid of trouble. It makes you better. You know, when we do the wedding ceremonies, it's very common to have the golden ring. It's not because we're J.R. Tolkien fans. There's another reason. The reason that it's traditional to use a gold ring is because when you pass gold through the fire, it only gets more pure. Here's what I want you to know. Sometimes life can feel scary. But there is something in you that cannot be beaten. There is something in you that is bigger than whatever you're facing. There is something in you that can do it, whatever it needs to be for you. There is something in you that can pass through the fire and only comes out more pure on the other end. When you get in touch with that love, you go, bring it on. It's about wanting to be different. It's about wanting to be changed. And it's about doing something about it. There was a lot of people after the hurricane that said, well, tell me how you were changed by Hurricane Baltimore. Tell me how you were changed by. I think that's great. It makes a great Facebook thread or whatever. That's awesome. Tell me how you were changed. You know what? I want to be changed. Everybody wants to be changed. You know what? If all we're going to do is talk about things we learned, it doesn't really get us anywhere, and it's too easy to change back to the way things were before. Let's stop asking that question just for a moment. It's not about how you were changed. Here's the question. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Did you go help somebody take the plywood off their house? Did you clear some stuff off of somebody's lawn? Did you help somebody figure out how to call FEMA? Were you there for them to buy them coffee and maybe some chocolate after they were on the phone with FEMA for a while to help that therapy? Did you help somebody? Did you do something? There's still time. Not just about that storm, because man, there are storms in life. This is not about how we feel about something. This is about what we do about something. And boys and girls, there is something for us to do. Right now. Big or small, doesn't matter. You want to know why you're here? I'll tell you. You're here to show the world what love looks like. That is it. All the other stuff, all of the other rationale, all the other reasons, we'll figure them out as we go. Just that. Show the world what love looks like. The rest of it will happen. Set it free. Because, after all, freedom is a choice. Thank you.